Up till now, we have already studied types of changes, that is physical change and chemical change. Now we are going to focus upon solubility. What is solubility? So it is the ability of a substance to dissolve in another substance at a particular temperature. So basically the substance which is going to dissolve is called solute, and it is usually in smaller amounts, while the substance in which it gets dissolved is called solvent, and solute and solvent together make the solution. So basically we know that there is space between the molecules of liquids. So we are now going to see solubility of a substance in a liquid. Now let's discuss about solubility of solids and liquids. Now when the molecules of a solid find space between the spaces of the molecules of liquid, they mix with the liquid. So such a solid is said to be soluble in the liquid. So examples of solids which dissolve in liquid are salt, sugar. You can see in this slide that when sugar is put into water, it dissolves completely, while another example of solid, that is flour, when it is put in water, it doesn't dissolve. You can see that when solid is put in liquid, so those molecules of solid, they'll find space and they mix with each other, and solute plus solvent forms solution. Now let's discuss about solubility of liquids and liquids. So when two liquids, they mix with each other completely, they are said to be miscible. So here you can see in this slide an example of dissolving ink in water. So the moment you put ink in water, it dissolves completely. So it is called miscible liquids. But if they do not mix, they are said to be immiscible. So the example given here, or you can experiment that take a glass of water, add a tablespoon of oil to the water and stir the mixture. You'll observe that the oil will keep floating on top and it does not mix with water. So here water and oil are examples of immiscible liquids. Now let's study about gases dissolved in liquids. Now some gases, they can dissolve in water. We know that the molecules in gases are far apart. So these molecules of gases, they can find space between water molecules and therefore they dissolve in water. The example is carbon dioxide and oxygen. So as oxygen dissolves in water, it is possible for aquatic animals like fish to breathe in the dissolved oxygen in the water. Another example is that aerated drinks. So you must have seen drinks like Coca-Cola and Pepsi and all. So in such kind of drinks, carbon dioxide gas is actually dissolved in it. So a large volume of the gas is dissolved in these drinks under pressure. So as soon as the bottle or can is opened, some of the gas comes out in the form of bubbles. Now we are going to study properties of substances. So different substances exhibit different properties because their molecules have different properties. So let us study a few of these properties, and they are thermal conductivity, electrical conductivity and magnetism. We will see in detail. Now the first property that we have to focus upon is the thermal conductivity. The meaning of the word thermal is heat. So some substances, we know that all the substances are made up of molecules. So the molecules of some substances, they can carry heat easily. The substances that can carry heat are called good conductors of heat. So here you can see the example of copper, silver, iron, gold. These all are examples of good conductors which can conduct heat very easily. Well, there are some substances whose molecules are not good carriers of heat. The substances that do not carry heat are called bad conductors of heat, and they'll be used as insulators. Examples of insulators are plastic, wood, rubber. So these are the substances which do not carry heat. Now the next property which we are going to study is about electrical conductivity. So substances whose molecules can carry electricity are called good conductors of electricity. The examples of such kind of substances are aluminium and copper. So must have observed that in your house, everywhere the wires which are there which conduct electricity, they are made up of aluminium or copper because they can carry electricity through them. While molecules of some substances, they cannot carry electricity through them. So such substances are called bad conductors of electricity. Again, the example will be wood and rubber. So in this slide, you can see that conductor is any material that allows electric current to pass through it. So here you can see the example of copper, aluminium, steel. While insulator is any material that does not allow electric current to pass through it. So it is actually used like a protective coating on wires. So it might be made up of plastic. Now let's study the third property, that is magnetism. Molecules of some substances are attracted by magnets. Examples are iron, cobalt and nickel. So these substances are strongly attracted by magnets and they are called as magnetic substances. So must have seen different types of magnets like bar magnet, horseshoe magnet, needle magnet. So basically when these magnets are taken near objects which are made up of iron, cobalt or nickel, they will easily get attracted towards the magnets and they will be called as magnetic substances. Well, there are some objects which will not get attracted by magnets and they will be known as non-magnetic substances. The examples of non-magnetic substances will be wood, glass, plastic, rubber, etc. Now let's study what happens when an object gains or loses heat. So when an object is heated, it expands and increases in size or volume. Means when heated, the atoms or molecules in a substance vibrate more and move apart to occupy more space. So the size and volume increases, but the size of the particles remains the same. In other words, a substance when heated, it expands, while when it is cooled, it contracts and decreases in size or volume. So you can see in the slide that when the substance is heated, the molecules, they gain energy and they start moving away from each other. So it expands, while at the same time when you cool the same substance, the molecules will lose their energy and they'll start coming close to each other. In other words, they contracts. Now, different objects expand at different rates. Generally, liquids expand more than solids, while gases expand more easily than solids and liquids.